Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, I have shown you how to add menu buttons over here. Here you can see this. When I click on this, three options will be popped up. The first is settings and one is group chat and third one is logout. When I click on this, it will show a toast. I have shown all of these stuff. And when I click on logout, we actually log out from our device and we are again in the sign in page. So I have shown all of these stuff in my previous video. So make sure you watch that video, and the link of that video in the description of this video, so check it out. Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to code for this Google button. That is, whenever we click on this, it will show all the email IDs logged in our device, and when we select any email ID, we actually sign up with that email ID and we move to the main activity. So what exactly I'm going to show you, let me just show with the help of the app. So in this app I have implemented that part. So here you can see this. When I click on this, it loads for a few seconds, and here you can see this, choose an account to continue to WhatsApp one. This is WhatsApp one. My app name is, here you can see this, I'm logged with btechdays.care @gmail.com. Either n number of Gmail IDs you have logged in your device, then n number of records or n number of Gmail IDs will be visible over here. Here you can add new account. So click on add another account and it will process like this one. And here you can enter the email ID and password, and after that you can continue. So I'm going to click back and move back outside. If I select this email ID, it will take some seconds and it will perform the sign up operation and then again save the data in our real-time database, and we move to the dashboard or the main activity. If I just close this application and restart it again, we will move to the dashboard or the main activity. Here you can see this, we are on the main activity. So I'm going to show you how to implement these all stuff in our app. The app in which we are working is btchat. Okay, so first thing what we have to do is we have to add one dependency in our project. For that, just move into this one, that is build.gradle. Double click on this, and here over here we have to add one dependency. So move back to this one, and here you have to simply search for authentication using Google Sign In on Android, and you will find this first one, that is authentication using Google Sign In on Android. Make sure this Android is over here and the Firebase. Select this one and move below a little bit, and here we have to add this dependency, that is place service authentic dependency. So I'm going to copy this one and move back to our app, that is btchat, and we have to simply paste it and click on sync. Now our synchronization is done. Okay, so now we have to now our dependency is added successfully. Now we have to move back over here, and here we have to copy this much code. Just copy this and move back to our app or project on which we are working, and let me just close this main activity.java because we don't need to code in that one. So we have to code in sign in activity. So double click on this, and here we have to paste the code. So where we have to paste the code, after this progress dialog, I'm going to paste the code. So make some space and paste the code, and it's showing an error because we haven't imported the dependency. So I'm going to just click Alt and Enter, and it will ask me to import classes. Click on this, this will import the classes. Okay, so why I'm going to use this, because it's a configure Google sign in. If I move back over here, and here you can see this configure Google sign in is available over here, it's written over here. Okay, so next thing, move back over here, and we have to actually copy few more lines of code. Okay, so below this, first thing, I have to create a Google sign in client object. For that, move back over here and we have to copy this one. Okay, and move back over here and again paste it like this. We have to Alt Enter inside this one, just copy this and move back to the top, and here we have to create Google sign in client, and here we have to paste the same name, and now error over here is resolved. Okay, after this we have to copy few more codes from there, that is this one. Here you can see this private sign in. We have to copy all of these lines and move back to our project, and here go to the below, and after this make some space and paste it over here. Here you can see this is showing an error, so I'm going to copy this much part, this name actually, and I'm going to paste int rc is equal to 65. Okay, so before we make further modification in this code, first we have to make few changes in our Firebase database. So move back to your Firebase database, and our project is this one, that is btchat. Okay, and here first thing what we have to do is just click on this, and we have to just go to this project setting and click on this one, and here we have to add one SHA certificate fingerprint. So click on this, and here it will show certificate fingerprint. So how to get this fingerprint? We can get this fingerprint from our Android Studio. Okay, so how we get this? In the previous time when we go to this griddle, the interface is different. In this one we can see only dependency. I have expanded every inner block, and again we can see only dependency. But in the previous time, here you can see this, the view is like this one. When I click on this signing report, we can simply see the SHA code. But for now, the Google actually changed Android Studio very quickly, so these all stuff has been changed. Now we can't see this stuff like this one. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to simply click on this, and we have to type report sign, and we have to write signing, right? GNINGREPORT and hit enter. And when you execute this, you will find the SHA one over here. Here you can see this same code is over here. You can copy any one. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any change. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. I hope you got how to get this. Just click on this, and here you have to type this one, signing report, and hit enter. You will find the code like this. Okay, if I move back over here, and we have to simply click on this add fingerprint, then you will find the option like this one, paste it, and it will automatically identify this is SHA1. Just save it. Now our SHA1 is added. We need to make one more changes. What is that? Just go to this authentication, and here in users you have to select this option, that is sign in method. Just click on this, and here we have to enable the Google sign in. So click on this and just enable this, and here you have to provide one Gmail ID. So I'm going to provide this btechdays.care@gmail.com. You can provide your email ID. Just click on save, and this will add one Gmail ID, and this will enable our app for Google sign-in. So you can see this Google is enabled. I got the message. Make sure you got the same message, and if here enabled is written, then that's totally fine. So now whatever changes we need to make in the Firebase is done. Okay, now we move back to this one and start coding. So click on this, close this, minimize this one, and here first thing we have to resolve this issue. So just simply enter, alt enter, and click on import classes, and here into this one, that is API exception, just alt enter and import classes, and we have to simply put this log. Just move back over here, and we have to put this log, alt enter, and just the issue is resolved. And if you want to resolve this one issue, just simply put this in the double quotes, and the issue will be resolved. Okay, this is a message which will be shown in the logs. So if you want to see this message, then you can see it. Otherwise, you can comment this one. Okay, so here you can see this. It's a message that Google sign-in was successful. Authenticate with Firebase. Then whatever code we need to write will be here. This is a separate method. For this one, I'm going to just put this one also in the double quotes, and this is a separate method which is being called inside this one. So code for this Firebase auth with Google is also available over here in the same link. If I move back over here, here you can see this private Firebase auth with Google. I'm going to copy this much of code and again move back to our project, and I'm going to paste it over here. Now automatically this issue will be resolved, and we have other issues over here. So I'm going to alt enter to import classes. I'm going to import this one too, and again put this one in the double quotes. and Firebase user just alt enter, update UI. Okay, I guess we don't need this one, so I'm going to remove this. Okay, and now everything is resolved. I'm going to remove this one also, and I'm going to put this one in the double quotes. Okay, so now our task till here is done. Now we have to start making changes from the top. So okay, so whenever we click on that Google sign Google button, then we have to call this method, that is sign in. So that task we haven't performed yet. So for that we have to just create an object or set on click listener for that BT and Google. So if I move back to the sign in, and if I click on this button, it's initializing. It will take a few seconds. So here we go. If I click on this, and here you can see there's the ID for this one is BT and Google. So we have to set on click listener at this button, and at that moment whenever user click on that, we need to see, we actually need to call this method, that is sign in. So make a space over here after this BTN, click sign up. Okay, if here we have to simply call this binding dot btn google dot set on click listener, and here we have to write new view dot on click listener and select this one, and this will create a method, and here we have to call this sign in. Simply the task is done. After inside this signing, we don't need to make any changes, but inside this one we have to make few changes. First thing, this one, the task till here, that is Google sign in account is equal to task dot get result API exception class, and Google sign in. Okay, log, I don't need to log this, just comment this one. I'm not going to comment this. If any error occur or sign in successful, then we can actually see this in the log, so I'm going to just leave it as it is. Okay, don't need to make any changes inside this one. In the Firebase with logs, Firebase auth with Google, this method is being called into this one, so we need to make some changes inside this one. Whenever the task is successful, first thing, I want to get the Firebase user.get current user. Now we have the user into this variable, that is user. After this, what we have to do is, now the sign up is successful, then we need to move to the main activity. Okay, so for that I'm going to just create an intent, and I'm going to create an intent is equal to new intent and sign in activity dot this, and we have to move to main activity dot class, and simply we have to start the activity, and we have to pass the intent inside this one, and we have to show a toast that we are actually signed in with Google. So I'm going to show a message, that is sign in with Google. I'm going to just keep this G as capital like this one, and let's check this if this one is working or not. So make sure you change this from signing report to app, select this one and just click on start, and it's being, little bit is running and it's being installed, and activity is being launched. If I click on this, and here we go, now this one is showing. If I move back to our database, that is Firebase database, and if I move back into the authentication and users, here you can see this, we have only two abc@gmail.com, and in the real-time database we have two records for now. Here you can see this, we have the same two records. Okay, so now I'm going to move back into this one, and I'm going to select this first, that is btechdays.care. If I click on this, sign up is being done and sign in with Google is done. Okay, so I'm going to reload this, and here you can see this now btechdays.care, but still one stuff is missing. If I move back to this real-time database, and here you can observe that we have only two records. So in the previous time what we did is, whenever a new user is sign up, I want to fetch or save those data in the real-time database. So we haven't performed that operation yet. Okay, so I'm going to perform that operation. So I'm going to log out for now and move back to the authentication. I'm going to delete this, that is btechdays.care. So I'm going to delete this one and delete this. Okay, so now this one is deleted, And if I move back into this one, okay, we don't need to code anything inside this one. Just move back to our app, and here inside this, first I'm going to create a this model variable. So first I'm going to create a users is equal to new users, and after this I'm going to make some space, and users dot set user ID and user dot get UID, that is user ID. After this user, I'm going to set the username dot set user name, and I'm going to get this from user dot get display name. And where is this variable? That is user. Here you can see this Firebase auth user, and from this we are actually going to fetch this one. If I click on this, and if I click on this one, Firebase auth, then we can see this. We have so many methods available over here. With these methods, we can actually fetch the limited data which Google permit, like username, pictures, and these type of stuff we can fetch from a Google account. So I'm going to fetch this with the help of this user. I'm going to get the UID with the and display name, and I'm going to get the profile pic also. So dot set profile pic user dot get profile URL, and then convert this one to a string. Now we have this one, that is a user ID, name, and profile pic. If I move back into this one, and here we have this username, mail, and password, and we have this constructor. I'm going to use this. Okay, so move back into this one, and now we have this stuff. So finally what we have to do is we have to store these all under the users, where we have to store this inside this one, that is real-time database, and inside this real-time database under this users I'm going to store that data. So move back into this one, and finally we have to simply call this, that is Firebase database dot get reference dot child. If you are confused that from where I'm going to get this Firebase database, but in previous video I have already created a variable for this, that is Firebase database, and I have also initialized this one. So make sure you perform this operation, otherwise you will get a null pointer exception. Okay, so move back below over here, and Firebase database dot get reference and child, that is child name, that is users. What is this child? And this is the child name, that is users. So I'm going to put that name over here. Make sure U is capital. After this, under the user, we actually need to set the another child, that is the ID. So I'm going to get this ID from user.getUID, and again after this I'm going to set the value. So where we have this value in the users, this user is this one, that is Firebase user, and this users is this variable which we have created, and just close this. If I restart the application, and let's check by signing in again if there is difference over here or not. So for now, if I go back to the authentication, here you can see this, we don't have the btechdays.care. If I move back over here, we don't have it again. Move back into this one, just click on this, and sign in with Google is done. And here you can see this, we have the profile pic, user ID, and username we have over here. You must be worried that why we haven't get that pop-up which we got initially. Okay, because whenever we perform one task initially, then for the second time it's not going to ask. So I'm going to just log out, and I'm going to just uninstall it and reinstall it, and then it will ask for the permission. Or you can simply just go to the apps info, and I'm going to clear, just go to storage, and I'm going to clear storage. Click on OK, and I'm going to restart this one. Just click on this PD chat and click on this Google, and here you can see this, it's asking me choose an account. Okay, so I'm going to select this, because whenever we process one data, it stores the selected data in our local storage and or cache. According to that, the app actually perform. So whenever you select initially for a particular email ID, then for the second time it's not going to ask. Now I'm going to click on this, and it will directly move us to the main activity because we have already created this account previously. That's why it's directly going to move back. If we select the new account, then it's going to sign up with that user ID, and then we again move to the main activity. If I click on authentication, and here you can see this, we have btechdays.care available over here. Okay, so here you can see this, how much simply we have implemented the sign up button in our application with the sign in and sign up with Google. How easily we have implemented this. All the codes, we don't need to write so much of code. I have to just copy few codes. First, that is Google sign in option GSO. Simply just copy this much and initialize this variable. First, I have initialized this variable Google sign in client. Initialize this one. Copy this much code. Now task till here is done. Again, we have to copy this much of code. This one, sign in and on activity result. And inside this on activity result, we don't need to make any changes. Simply just paste it. After this Firebase auth with Google, I've explained this much of code, which is important, very important to understand. Whatever is being performed with these operations is completely done by Google. You can read it about on the Google, but not to remember this, because these code always is going to be used by copying from that side. For this purpose, they have already provided a very good documentation. You need to understand how code actually works. You don't have to learn the code. Okay. After this, I have actually created a users and I have fetched the user ID for the particular Gmail, and we have actually get the username, and we have got the profile pic over there. And finally, we have stored it in our real-time database and moved to the main activity, or we have started the activity and we move from one intent to another intent with the successful sign up. And this one is working fine. You have seen this. So that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, I'm going to add a view pager in the main activity, and we are going to actually start working on the main activity. So till then, bye-bye. And please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And thanks for watching.